Despite Djokovic being one of the best players to ever grace the tennis courts, he doesn't seem to have the same level of popularity as Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal. This might seem puzzling, especially considering that Djokovic has been the dominant force in tennis in recent years and has achieved greater success than Federer and Nadal. So that leads us to the question, why does Djokovic seem to receive less respect compared to Federer and Nadal? Let's find out. In the earlier part of his career, up until 2009 to 2010, Djokovic lived in the formidable shadows of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, both of whom dominated the tennis world during that period. Djokovic's game needed some fine-tuning, particularly in his serve and net play, before he could aspire to dominate the sport. However, the turning point came in 2011 when Djokovic's game underwent a remarkable transformation. His exceptional defensive skills were complemented by a newfound willingness to charge the net and seize control of points. He then went on to win titles. Yet, despite these incredible achievements, Djokovic hasn't been able to match the fan following enjoyed by Federer and Nadal. This contrast is clearly evident in the way crowds react to him on the court. Don't get me wrong, Djokovic does have fans, and they're fiercely loyal, collectively known as the Null Fam. Attend a Serbia Davis Cup tie, and you'll witness the passionate and vocal support he commands. Nevertheless, when measured against the vast fan bases of Federer and Nadal, Djokovic's following falls short, and there are reasons for this. Where it all began. First impressions, as they say, can be quite lasting. For most of us, our introduction to Djokovic occurred at the 2006 French Open when he was just 19 years old and ranked 63rd in the world. He surprised everyone by defeating three-seeded players to reach the quarterfinals, where he faced none other than the defending champion, Rafael Nadal. Although Djokovic lost the first two sets 6-4, 6-4, and retired due to a back problem, he made a statement. "I think I had control of the match," Djokovic noted. "I just didn't finish it in the right way when I needed to." This comment raised eyebrows among sports writers, who believed that young professional athletes should exhibit more humility. Despite Djokovic's intention to convey that he had demonstrated his ability to compete with the king of clay in long rallies on clay courts, the perception was set. The young Serbian who retired from a Grand Slam quarterfinal with an injury was seen as smug. The perception worsened at the 2008 Australian Open, when Djokovic defeated Roger Federer, the defending champion, in the semifinals. Djokovic's parents, known for their unabashed support, chanted, "The king is dead! Long live the king!" This display garnered even more criticism, as many felt it was disrespectful to the Swiss tennis legend and lacked sportsmanship. Djokovic's style of tennis is not as alluring. Novak Djokovic's distinctive style of tennis during his early years of dominance didn't quite capture the hearts of fans in the same way as Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, and there are some compelling reasons behind this phenomenon. Firstly, let's acknowledge the enduring appeal of Roger Federer. He's often celebrated not just for his remarkable achievements, but also for his timeless elegance on the court. Federer seamlessly merged the classic tennis style of the past with the modern power era, wielding advanced rackets and strings to execute shots that were once deemed nearly impossible. His remarkable athleticism and composed demeanor under pressure make him an iconic figure in the sport. Moving on to Rafael Nadal, he brought an entirely different dimension to tennis. His forehand was a revelation, featuring unprecedented power and spin. His ground strokes and physical presence were equally awe-inspiring. What set Nadal apart was his relentless intensity on the court, coupled with a humble personality that resonated with fans, especially the newer generation. The rivalry between Federer and Nadal was a spectacle in itself, reminiscent of the legendary Sampras vs. Agassi clashes. It showcased a stark contrast in styles. Elegance versus power. This rivalry captured the tennis world's imagination for a substantial period and solidified both Federer and Nadal as two of the sport's most beloved figures. Then came Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray, the challengers to the established kings of tennis. However, Djokovic in his early days came across as confident and, at times, a bit brash and grumpy. He lacked the poise of Federer and the affability of Nadal. His playing style, while incredibly effective, wasn't as flashy. For many, his on-court personality didn't have the same charm. Adding to the challenge were instances where Djokovic retired from significant matches for reasons that might have appeared trivial to the outside world. These incidents further contributed to a less than favorable first impression. Djokovic was also pitted against the backdrop of challenging the thrones of two of the most beloved players in tennis history. Federer and Nadal had already established themselves as fan favorites, and Djokovic faced an uphill battle in trying to win over their fervent admirers. And that was one thing he wasn't able to do. Ironically, his success against these two legends may, in part, contribute to the perception that he's not as popular as them. Before we move on, we know you wouldn't want to miss out on more exclusive content like this. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to stay updated with all the latest in the world of tennis. On-court and off-court controversies. Djokovic's actions, both on and off the court, have played a role in shaping the way he's perceived in the world of tennis. The Serbian often faced criticism for his moments of anger on the court. The most infamous incident was at the 2020 US Open when he accidentally hit a ball at a line judge, leading to his disqualification. These outbursts have not gone unnoticed and have contributed to a negative perception of him as a player. Furthermore, Djokovic's interactions with umpires and ball kids have, at times, been less than ideal. In contrast to the calm and composed demeanor of his closest rivals, Federer and Nadal, Djokovic's behavior has led some to label him as arrogant. Novak Djokovic has also found himself embroiled in various off-court controversies that have raised questions about his reputation. One of these contentious issues revolves around his stance on COVID-19 vaccinations. In the past, Djokovic expressed controversial opinions about vaccines, particularly in 2020 when he voiced his personal opposition to mandatory COVID-19 vaccinations for travel and tournament participation. He cited concerns about potential side effects and the principle of individual choice in vaccination. While he later clarified that he wasn't against vaccines in general but believed in personal choice, his initial comments drew criticism from both the public and the tennis community. Some argued that vaccines are a crucial tool in battling the pandemic, and athletes should set an example by adhering to public health guidelines. Family controversies. In addition to the controversies that Djokovic himself has been involved in over the years, it's worth noting that his family, particularly his parents, have also not portrayed themselves positively to the tennis public. While Novak Djokovic's wife, Jelena, and his siblings have maintained a quiet and controversy-free public presence, the same cannot be said for his parents, Diana and Sirjan. The Djokovic family has been involved in several public disputes, often related to their outspoken opinions about their son. One of the most notable conflicts involved Srdjan Djokovic and tennis legend Roger Federer. This feud began in 2006 when Federer criticized a young Novak for what he saw as excessive demands for medical treatment. Tensions escalated in 2008 when Federer scolded Djokovic's family to keep quiet during a match at the Monte Carlo Masters. These incidents fueled Srdjan Djokovic's long-standing resentment towards Federer. Over the years, Novak's father has consistently taken opportunities to criticize Federer, sometimes even suggesting that he should retire. However, this strategy of frequently attacking and disparaging one of the most universally beloved tennis players doesn't resonate well with public opinion. Furthermore, both of Djokovic's parents have vigorously championed their son as the greatest player in tennis history. While the families of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal adopt a more modest and respectful approach in their ongoing greatest of all time GOAT debate, Djokovic's parents have been unabashed in their assertions. This has had a negative impact on Djokovic's image, as many fans dislike being associated with a player whose family come across as arrogant and unruly. Now, over to you. What other reasons do you think are responsible for why Djokovic isn't as popular as Nadal and Federer? Let us know in the comments section below. If you loved this video, then you should check out this video showing on your screen. See you there.